Hi guys, and welcome to another creepy stories in a tent on a stormy night. And here we are in the middle of Wales on a really cold, dark, stormy night now. I just realised the date today, and today's date was the date of the release of a movie, a B movie from 1955 called Tarantula. And I thought, I've never really spoke about this film, although the film is from 1955. It's a very old black and white movie, but the movie itself is actually fantastic. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about that for tonight's story. What it's about is it's set in the desert of Arizona, and there is a scientist who is working on a nutrient in order to end world hunger. And so what he does is he's developed this serum, and he has been injecting it into guinea pigs and rabbits and rats, and they have all been slowly growing over a period of so many days. They've been growing to a big size, a large size. Okay, so there's two things. Is one, he has injected one of his assistants with this, and what it does is it causes deformities and really awful things to happen to the body and face, and then they eventually die, and someone is found in the desert, collapsed with this deformity on them and everything, and so they question this scientist, and he says, he had it was some kind of thing that you can develop which takes normally years to develop, but this was like just a matter of days. And he said, sometimes that can happen, that's all it was. But these are the two things. Is one, he's injecting his assistants with it, which has this awful effect, and also, I don't know why, for whatever the reason, but he decides also to inject a tarantula. So he now has in this giant case a tarantula spider the size of a double bed, and it's scratching at the glass, and it's a real spider. It was very, very clever the way they did it. They just what they did is actually made a real spider look huge, and it really is very effective because it's not CGI. It's actually a real spider that they've used, which is brilliant, and it's like really, really terrifying, especially the sound it makes. Right. In the meantime, he has then injected his assistant, who he is with now, with this serum, a new batch of it, in order for it to, whatever he wants it to do. I mean, why you would inject a tarantula, I really don't know, but he's injected his other assistant with it, so his other assistant comes comes in, and again he's all deformed and looks like horrific. And he comes in and starts attacking the scientist, and he grabs the needle that the scientist has been injecting the animals with, and he injects the doctor with it, the scientist with it. He then picks up a chair, and as he throws the chair at him, the doctor ducks, and as he throws the chair, it smashes the case that this giant tarantula is in, the tarantula the size of a double bed. So that now just crawls out of the case and wanders off into the desert. And after it's crawled out, the assistant is having a fight with the scientist, and it ends up causing this big fire, and everything in the lab all gets burned down. The assistant gets killed, and the doctor buries him out in the desert, and manages to put out all the fire. So he sort of, although everything's all been burnt and gone, he does put the fire out. And now we have this tarantula that is walking around and growing at an incredibly fast rate, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and what happens is it starts attacking horses on this horse ranch. So they call out this, I think he's a detective or something, and they get him to look at it, and all you have is these carcasses. All the horses have been stripped to the bone, and there's this unusual substance, this pools of like white liquid that no one knows what it is. So in the meantime, this woman replaces the assistant, who the scientist says just left after the fire. The fire was just an accident, and he just left not long after. So that's like, two people that are dead now. And she takes over. In the meantime, there's two guys driving home in a truck, and they come across this giant tarantula, which right now is absolutely huge, and it gets the truck and the two guys and kills both of them. There's also, like, what happens is the detective then goes to an expert, like an insect expert, because the doctor tells them both that he said he had a rat the size of a dog, and he had a tarantula, and then that's when they start putting two and two together, a tarantula. So he goes, and he has taken a sample of this white liquid. So he takes that to a specialist in Phoenix, I think it is, and the doctor says, well, I know what it is, but he said, it's not possible to have that much. He says, so the guy says, what do you mean? He says, well, it's tarantula venom. He said, but for it to produce that much, he said it would take hundreds of tarantulas or something, and he goes, well, what would you do if I told you I took that from a pool of the stuff? And then he goes, well, then that means there's something out there that is deadlier than anything that's ever walked this earth, and you think, oh my goodness. So they've now established that it is a giant tarantula that they're dealing with. The tarantula then comes back to the lab, and the doctor is there, and by now, because he was injected with that stuff, he's all deformed, and all his face is all hanging like down here, and really, sees this monster of a tarantula. It's still walking down the road, pounding down the road, coming towards them. So they then get a jet fighter to come in, who actually is played by Clint Eastwood. It was apparently his very first, role, I think, in a movie. And he drops loads of napalm on the spider, and it all burns, and it incinerates the spider, and that's how they kill it. But yeah, it was such a great film. Really good movie. I might have got bits wrong in that because I haven't watched it in a long time. I really do need to watch it again. But yeah, like I said, guys, it was 1955 today. I'm sure it was today or tomorrow. It was the 3rd or the 4th. Yeah, I had it on 8mm back in the day when I was about 8 years old, and I used to watch like an abridged version of it over and over again. It was such a great film. But yeah, it's Tarantula from 1955, and I'm sure it was released today, I think, back in the day. No, it might have been last month, but I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever. It's a really, really good film. If you've never seen it, check it out. Very creepy old B movie. But yeah, where they use a real spider, that's what really got me, because I thought, oh, wow, it's actually a real tarantula, which makes things even scarier. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching and joining me tonight on this absolutely freezing cold, rainy, stormy, dark night. What's that crawling around out there? That looks rather big. I'll see you next time.